Good morning, everybody. What is the urinary system? It is the organ of this body that concerns with the formation of urine. It eliminates from the body are referred to as the urinary system. Urinary system consists of this kidney, ureter, and urinary bladder, and evacuation of the urine from this urinary bladder to through the urethra. So, urinary system include the pair of this kidney and the ureter, urinary bladder and urethra. The kidney produces the urine and the ureter convey it to the urinary bladder for the temporary storage. Finally, the urine is evacuated from this bladder through the urethra. So, this one are this urinary system. Now, kidney. So, it is reddish brown in living person on the posterior abdominal wall. In this paravertebral gutter, it is retroperitoneal. So, kidney are a pair of these essential excretory organ which elaborate the urine and they eliminate the nitrogenous waste product of the protein metabolism from the blood and maintain the electrolyte and the water balance of the body. So, in addition, the kidney secrete the renin for the auto-regulation of the blood flow and the blood pressure. Erythropoietin for the maintaining the red blood cells. So, these one are the uh, uh, function of this kidney. So, component of this urine. So, kidney are the gland for the secretory urine, ureter, duct carrying the urine, urinary bladder, reservoir of this urine in urine is stored, and urethra, tube for the expelling urine to the exterior. So, this one are this component of this urinary system: kidney, ureter, urinary bladder, and urethra. Now position of this kidney. You see this position or the expression of this kidney. Each kidney is situated in retroperitoneal in this posterior abdominal wall. By the side of this vertebral column, this one other vertebral column and both sides of this vertebral column are the location of this kidney. And it extends from this 12th thoracis to the 12th lumbar vertebra. 12th thoracis vertebra to the 12th extend from this 12th thoracis to the 3rd lumbar vertebra. So right kidney is slightly lower than the left kidney. So this one are the right kidney. The right kidney is lower than this left kidney, just lower than the left kidney because the right kidney is slightly lower than its left kidney due to the presence of this liver. And the left kidney is longer, narrow, and near to this vertebral column than to the right one. So this one are this location of this kidney retroperitoneal at the posterior abdominal wall. Now the kidney location T12 to L3 somewhat higher on the left. The hilum is located at about the level of this L1. From anterior to the posterior, renal vein, renal artery and renal pelvis. So this one are the location of this kidney. The kidney is surrounded by the fat and the fascia for the protection. From the surface outward, renal capsule, perirenal fat, renal fascia and pararenal fat are located. Now, axis of this kidney or the location of this kidney. So in long axis, the kidney is directed downward and laterally to the upper end. It's near to this vertebral column. Then the lower end. The transverse axis, it is directed. This one are the transverse axis. It is directed laterally and backward because the kidney rests on the sloping paravertebral gutter of these muscles. Transpyloric plant pass through this upper part of this hilum of this right kidney and lower part of this hilum of this left kidney. So these one are the kidney. Now renal angle. So renal angle, it is the angle between this lower margin of this 12 and this lateral margin of this erector spina muscles. Clinically, the importance of these renal angles. If renal pain is usually felt at the renal angle as a dull ache, the perinephric abscess causes the swelling and the tenderness at this angle. Skin incision for the kidney by the lumbar root being below the renal angle to prevent the injury to the pleura. So this one are the renal angle. So you see this diagram, maximum tenderness or the precursing pain caused by the kidney disease is localized here. So this one are the angle, name is given this renal angle at the maximum tenderness. Here you also see this renal angle. This angle it is made up to form a renal angle. Here there is a maximum tenderness are present. So this angle are clinically important because there is a maximum tenderness. Now renal angle between this lower border of this 12th rib and the lateral border of this erector spinal muscles and the renal colic pain start from this angle down or the forward to the groin. So this angle are referred to as the renal angle. So it is the clinical importance. There is a maximum tenderness as present if there is any pathological condition of this kidney. Costovertebral angle, also name is given this costal to vertebral column at the location of this 12th rib. This CAV tenderness is often a sign of this kidney stone or the pyelonephritis. So this angle name is given this costovertebral angle or the renal angle. Now position and the site determination of this kidney. You see this kidney lies on the posterior abdominal wall behind the peritoneum close to the vertebral column. Hilum faces medially and structures at the hilum from before backward there is a vein, artery and ureter. Renal vein, renal artery in the pelvis of the ureter. The shape, there is a bean shape, reddish brown in color. Total length of this kidney 11 centimeter, breadth 6 centimeter and thickness there is a 3 centimeter. So weight of this kidney in adult 150 to 170 in male and in female there is a 130 to 150 gram. So roughly the weight is about the 4.5 kgs. Now shape, it is the bean shape, reddish brown in color with hilum is directed medially. Now movement of this kidney, you see this vein, artery and ureter, this one are this relation of this kidney at the hilum. First anterior to posterior vein, then artery, then ureter. Erector faces directed downward. So these one are the normal position of this kidney. Now movement of this kidney with respiration to exert 1.5 centimeter to 2.5 centimeter because it is subdiaphragmatic organ. It moves slightly downward from this recumbent supine to standing position. It has a two surface and two border and two pole. You see this one at the upper pole and lower pole, two surface, anterior surface and posterior surface and two border. This one at the medial border and lateral border and two surface, anterior and posterior surface. So this one are the position of kidney and its surface marking. So weight is taking the 4.5 centimeter each, left hilum above the transpyloric plant and the right just below it. Total length 11 centimeter, breadth 4.5 centimeter. Upper pole 2.5 centimeter and lower pole 7.5 centimeter from the midline. So this one are the surface marking related to the right and left side of this kidney. The projection of this kidney to the front of this body. Here you can see this left side, this one at the median plan from this hilum to the median plant 7.5 centimeter and this one at the away from it. Now relation of this kidney. So kidney is related right side and left side is both different. You see this right side of this kidney relation from upper to lower part. Anterior upper part there is a diaphragm arising from this medial and lateral arcuate ligament. So this relation both is different in anterior relation and posterior relation. Now anterior relation, say this diagram, anterior relation of this right kidney, uppermost there is a suprarenal area, this area are the hepatic area, this part are the duodenal area, this area are the colic area, most medial there is a for the jejunal area and this part are the hilum of this kidney for most anteriorly B, A, U. V means vein, renal vein, A means renal artery and U means ureter. So right side there is a right ureter and left side there is a left ureter. On the anterior relation on the right kidney, anteriorly, most anteriorly there is a suprarenal renal area. This one are the gastric area, this one are the splenic area, this one are the pancreatic area. Then laterally there is a colic area and medially there is a jejunal area. So these one are the relation of the kidney, both anterior surface, right and left. Now you see this anterior relation. Here there is a right side suprarenal gland, hepatic area, This area is related to the right colic plexus. This one are the area for this jejunum. On the left side, there is a area for this gastric impression, or this area for this left suprarenal gland, this area for this pancreatic area, this area for the spleen. Here there is a area for the jejunum, and here there is a area for the left colic area. So this one are the anterior relation of this kidney. Now on posterior relation of this kidney in upper part and lower part. Upper part from within outward. To see this posterior relation from within outward, there is a diaphragm arising from this medial and lateral arcuate ligament. This one are the medial lumbocostal arc or this lateral lumbocostal arch. So medial arcuate ligament and lateral arcuate ligament. So upper part, the diaphragm arising from this medial and lateral arcuate ligament, postodiaphragmatic recess of this corresponding pleura, 11 and 12 strips on the left side and 12 strips only on the right side. Sometimes the diaphragm fails to arise from this lateral arcuate ligament, producing this costovertebral trigon. In such condition, part of this kidney may herniate into this thorax. So this one are the posterior relation of this kidney. These vessels are the subcostal vessels. This one are the iliohypogastric vessels, ilioinguinal nerve, and this medial to lateral. This most medially there is a quadratus lumborum, psoas major, then quadratus lumborum, and transverse abdominis muscle. So both right and left side of this posterior relation of this kidney. So right side there is a both arcuate ligament, and only there is a 12th rib. Left side there is a subcostal vessels, and here there is a only single arcuate ligament. So both medial and lateral arcuate ligament is related on the posterior relation of this right and left. It is same. Lower part from medial to lateral side, psoas major covered by the iliopsoas fascia quadratus lumborum, covered by the anterior layer of this thoracolumbar fascia, and transverse abdominis covered by this fascia transversalis. Paranephric fat, it interacts between this renal fascia and the thoracolumbar fascia. Deep to this thoracolumbar fascia and front of this quadratus lumborum, the structures downward and laterally are the same from this above downward. First there is a subcostal vessels and now you see this one are the subcostal vessels and now. Then iliohypogastric nerve and vessels, iliohypogastric nerve, ilioinguinal nerve, lower there is ilioinguinal nerve, and fourth lumbar artery on the right side only. So right side there is only fourth lumbar artery. It is related to posteriorly of the kidney. So special features on the posterior surface, there is a renal angle. So renal angle, it is nothing but, already I told you, it is an angulation between this lower border of 12th rib and this lateral border of this erector spinal muscles. So these are the renal angle when there is a 12th in these erector spinal muscles. Now kidney internal structures. Internally the kidney are composed of this cortex and medulla and a duct system for the drainage. The medulla is formed of the triangular surface. The structures called the pyramids. Area where the cortex extend between these pyramids are called the renal column. The tips of each pyramid has a papilla through which urine is released into these calytic structures called the minor calyx. Several minor calyx collectively drain into a major calyx. Typically, there are the three major calyx which join to form the renal pelvis. So, these one are the internal structures of this kidney. At the renal angle, the angulation between this lower border of these 12 ribs and the lateral border of this erector spinal muscles, posterior surface of this lower part of this kidney lies beneath the renal angle, which is not encroached by the costodiaphragmatic recess of the pleura. So renal colic pain usually shoots downward and forward from the lowering renal angle to the groin. So surgically the kidney is exposed retroperitoneally by the oblique incision which extend downward and the forward coming from the renal angle. So these are the clinical structures and internal of this kidney. You see these internal structures, these one are the minor calyxes, these are the major calyx, these are the renal pelvis, minor calyxes and renal pelvis. So this scheme to show the major and minor calyxes. And internal to the skin, some features to be seen on the coronal section of the kidney. This one are the renal column. This one are the renal column, renal cortex. This one are the medulla, major calyces and minor calyces, and this one are the pyramid or the medulla. So this one are the internal structures of this kidney. So internally, kidney there is like minor and major calyces. Now here also you can see this internal structures of this kidney. So internal structures of this kidney, there is basis, name is given this macroscopic structures. So outer side there is a medulla and it consists of this inner medulla and outer cortex. So it can study under this two heading, microscopic and microscopic. This one are the macroscopic study. In this macroscopic, what is the medulla? This part are this medulla. See this one are the medulla. It present about the 8 to 18 renal pyramids, which are striated, pale in the conical mass. Each pyramid present a base directed to the cortex and the apex, which project into the wall of this renal sinus as renal papilla. Each papilla is perforated by the 16 to 20 or the more duct of this veining. It is received by this minor calyces. As a rule, one calyx minor receive 1 to 3 renal papilla. One pyramid kept with this adjoining cortex is known as the lobar of this kidney. The striation of this pyramid are caused by this series of this U-shaped loop of this hind leg. So this one are the outer covering part of this anterior surface of this kidney. This one are the macroscopic structures after the cutting this kidney. So series of this U-shaped loop of this hind leg with their descending and the ascending limbs are the plug into the substance of this pyramid. The longest loops extend close to the renal papilla and are derived from the juxtamedullary nephron. The shortest loops are derived from this most superficial cortical nephron and extend close to this basal zone of the pyramid. The loops of the Hinley are responsible to maintain a great osmolarity of this interstitial fluid of these renal pyramids and act as a counter current multipeller. The apex of this pyramid is hypertonic, the body is isotonic, and this base is hypotonic to the plasma. So this one is covering of this kidney. Here there is a true or the fibrous capsule, perinephric pad of this fat and the renal fascia or the false capsule and paranephric pad of this fat. So these are the description of this covering of this kidney. Now you see first true capsule or the fibrous capsule. So you see this true capsule or the fibrous capsule, it is the true capsule because it is formed by this condensation of this fibrous trauma. You see this kidney, renal capsule, perinephric fat and renal fascia and this paranephric fat. The first fibrous capsule. So here you can see this fibrous capsule cut and peeled back. So fibrous capsule is formed by this condensation of this fibrous trauma of the kidney. The capsule covers the entire organ, line the wall, the renal sinus and is reflect the as tubular sheet around the minor and major calyces. In the pelvis of this ureter, the capsule can be stripped off from the glandular kidney substance. It provides the organ is hereby the nephropexy operation to fix a movable kidney. Sometimes the fibrous capsule is divided along the lateral border of the kidney and rolled posterior flap of the capsule is served to the last rib. The muscles of this posterior abdominal wall decapsulation of the kidney is occasionally made in suppression of this urine due to the acute nephritis in an attempt to the release pressure on the renal tubules as a result of this congestion and edema. So this one are the fibrous capsule. Second one, there is Formed by this condensation of this fibrostroma of the kidney, the capsule can be stripped off from the glandular tissue. Kidney substance provide the organ is healthy. Decapsulation of the kidney is occasionally made in suppression of the urine due to the acute nephritis in an attempt to release pressure. So this one are this renal or the fibrous capsule. So result of this congestion and the edema. Now, second covering of this kidney, second one there is a perinephric fat. So perinephric fat, it is nothing but there is a occupied the interval between this fibrous capsule and renal fascia. So this one are the fibrous capsule and this one are the covering of this renal fascia. So transverse section toward the kidney showing the arrangement of the renal fascia. So this line is indicate the renal fascia. So renal fascia and fibrous capsule के बीच में जो part है, here there is a location of this perinephric fat. So perinephric fat occupied the interval between this fibrous capsule and renal fascia. But this space name is given the space of zerota. Now you see this diagram, the space of this zerota are the location of this perinephric fat. So evident along this border of this kidney and is content of this renal vein. So what is the renal fascia? Here you can see this diagram. There is a scheme to show the relation of this right and left renal artery. Both arteries are related posterior to the corresponding sympathetic trunk. So cross of this diaphragm B1 at the pelvis of the ureter. So renal fascia, here there is a location of this renal fascia. It is formed by this condensation of this peritoneal connective tissue around the kidney and is continuous laterally with the fascia transversalis. The renal fascia consists of anterior and posterior layer. The anterior layer is thin and is also known as the fascia of the stone. The posterior layer is thick, is known as the fascia of the jugular. Another diagram, you see this diagram, here there is a renal fascia. Inferiorly it is open, both two layer, anterior layer and posterior layer. This one are the paranephric fat, this one are the prenephric fat. Here there is a fibrous capsule and this extension of this renal fascia it also called the suprarenal gland and it is condensation operate continuous as a diaphragmatic fascia. So renal fascia, it is formed by condensation of this extraperitoneal connective tissue around the kidney and is continuous laterally with the fascia transversalis, and renal fascia consists of anterior and posterior layers. Anterior layer is thin and is also known as the fascia of the stone. So this one are the anterior layer, this one are the posterior layer of this renal fascia. Posterior layer of this renal fascia is thick and is known as the fascia of this jugular. The dressing of this renal fascia laterally, both layers are fused at the lateral border of this kidney and are continuous with this fascia transversalis. Medially, anterior layer covers the front of this kidney and renal vessels and is continuous with a similar layer of this opposite renal fascia. Posterior layer covers the back of this kidney and renal vessels laid with this vast fascia and is attached to the body of this lumbar vertebra. The deep stratum of this fascia connects both layers across the hilum of this kidney and thereby close the perinephric space on the medial side. Above this fascia layer is fused at the upper end of this kidney and is split to include the suprarenal gland. So here you can see this fascia is split and it covers the suprarenal gland and then it covers the suprarenal gland in separate compartment. At the upper end of this latter, the layer reunite and are continuous with the subdiaphragmatic fascia forming the suspensory ligament of the suprarenal gland. This explanation why a downward displacement of this kidney is not accompanies with this concomitant displacement of the suprarenal gland. Below two layers do not fuse, extend downward along the ureter and are finally lost in this extraperitoneal tissue of the iliac fossa. According to the Mitchell, both layers do fuse at this lower end of this kidney and close the perinephric space at the below. So this one are this condensation or the explanation of this renal fascia. In upper explanation, this one is the lower explanation of this fascia. Now renal segment. So kidney are supplied by this renal artery and drained by this renal vein. So this condensation of this renal segment divide into this apical, upper anterior, middle anterior, anterior aspect, then lateral aspect. There is a apical portion, upper anterior, middle anterior and lower part, and this one at the posterior aspect, apical and posterior aspect. So renal artery divide at the hilum into the anterior and posterior, then primary branches is called the segmental artery. Here there is a 5 segmental artery. Now blood supply. So majority kidney is supplied by the renal artery, renal vein, lymphatic drain into this lateral aortic node at L2. Now supply renal plexus. It contains the sympathetic T10 to L1 and efferent nerve from the T10 and T12. So this one are this blood supply and venous drainage of this. It is mainly supplied the renal artery branch of this abdominal aorta and tributaries of this renal vein. It is tributary of this inferior vena cava, and here it gives this segmental artery. So this one are this blood supply of this kidney. Now you see this another diagram of this blood supply of this kidney. It is mainly divided into this different segment. So this name is given the segmental artery. So majority it supply this renal artery. Then you see this some division of this blood supply. Abdominal aorta at level of this L2, then renal artery, the terminal branch of this abdominal aorta, then it divided into this 5 segmental artery. Each segmental artery divided into this lobar artery, then this lobar artery divided into this interlobar artery, further it divided into this arcuate artery, then it divided into this interlobar artery and efferent arterioles, and ultimately it runs passes through the glomerulus and efferent arterioles. This efferent arterioles ultimately anastomosis with this peritubular plexus, then interlobar vein, then arcuate vein, interlobar vein, then lobar vein, then segmental vein, then 5 segmental vein, then renal vein, and inferior vena. So this one are the ultimately vascular supply of this kidney. So blood supply of kidney is so in different segmental artery. So this one are this blood supply of this kidney, interlobar artery, renal cortex, arcuate artery, renal medulla, interlobar artery and vein, the renal vein artery and renal vein. So this one are this ultimately circulation of this blood. Now lymphatic drainage. The lymphatic of the kidney drain into this lateral aortic node located at this lower level of this origin of this renal artery. So this one are this renal lymphatic. Now kidney innervation or the nerve supply. So kidney is supplied by this renal plexus and of this colic plexus. It continues sympathetic and the in sympathetic fibers which are the chief vasomotor, and efferent nerve of this kidney will belong to the segment T10 to T12. So this one are this nerve supply of this kidney. Fibers from this lesser splanchnic nerve synapse in this aorticorenal ganglia and join the renal plexus of the renal artery. Fibers from the least splanchnic nerve process directly to the renal artery where they synapse with diffuse ganglion cells. There is usually some addition contribution from the L1 and L2. So kidney receive no extrinsic parasympathetic innervation but contain the modified epithelial cells which produce the acetylcholine. So this one are the innervation of this kidney. And this one are the venous drainage, renal vein. It is tributaries of this inferior vena. Now detoxic function of this kidney. So mainly it function by the detoxification, it regulation of this water volume, regulation of this blood pressure after the secretion of this renin-angiotensin. Now applied anatomy. So a clinical anatomy, first there is a congenital anomalies of this kidney. So we can learn during this developmental of this urinary system. So here there is some anomalies developed during this developmental part. Then there is a calculus or the stone, Infection called the pyelonephritis, it is maybe acute or the chronic. Then pyelonephrosis, neoplasm in adult, in hypernephroma in children, in nephroblastoma for the Wilms tumors, nephrectomy, removal of this kidney, renal failure, there is a requirement of this renal transplantation. So surgical exposure of this kidney when sometimes the 12th week is restricted for the easier delivery of this kidney. So danger opening of this pleural cavity must be borne in mind. The lower border of this pleura lies in between these 12 ribs and diaphragm. The order to structures from the anterior to posterior side being diaphragm, pleura, and the ribs when the 12th rib is absent or is too short. So 11 ribs may be mistaken for the 12th and then catching the opening the pleural cavity are greatly increased. So lithotripsy has replaced the conventional method of the some degree. The angle between this lower border and the 12th ribs outer border of erector spina is known as the renal angle. It overlies the lower part of this kidney. Tenderness in this kidney is initiated by the applying the pressure over the angle with the thumb. So blood from this ruptured kidney or the pus in perinephric abscess first distance the renal fascia, then force its way within the renal fascia downward into the penis. It cannot cross to the opposite side because of this fascia septum in this mild line attachment of this renal fascia. When kidney is palpated bimanually with one hand placed in front and the other hand behind the flank. When enlarge the lower pole of this kidney because the palpable on the deep inspiration, a floating kidney can move up and down within this renal fascia, but not from the side to side. In such condition, the posterior layer of this renal fascia can be stirred with diaphragm and the kidney can be fixed in position. The common diseases of the kidney are nephritis, pyelonephritis, tuberculosis of kidney, renal stone, and the tumor. So these one are the related applied anatomy related to the kidney. Renal cyst, polycystic kidney disease, renal and the ureteric calculi or the kidney stone, often high in oxalic acid, lack of the sufficient water intake, pressure dependent. Accessory vessels are often present because the kidney migrates superiorly during this development. So one common congenital condition of the kidney is polycystic kidney, which lead to this hypertension. This one are the common manifestation. In case of this chronic renal failure, dialysis need to be done. It can be done as peritoneal dialysis or the hemodialysis. The kidney are likely to be injured due to this penetrating injury to lower cirrhosis stage. This may also injure by the click in the renal angle between this vertebrae column and 12th. So kidney is likely to have stone and the urine gets concentrated. Here, the kidney stone lies on the body of this vertebra. Gallstone lies anterior to the body of this vertebra. So here there is a complete